The battle for Tamil Nadu has begun, and months before the actual election, which is in April, May this year, the war will be fought in cinema halls this week with a blockbuster clash for the ages. Thalapathy Vijay Jana Nayagan is gearing up for a Pongal release, packed with anti-corruption vibes that scream his TVK party's manifesto. But enter the DMK's subtle counterpunch. Sivakarthikeyan's Parasakthi, a nod to Karunanidhi's Dravidian legacy, suddenly advanced to steal the spotlight, with theatre bookings turning battlegrounds and social media absolutely on fire. This is classic Tamil Nadu filmy politics, a massive proxy war testing fan loyalties that could swing votes in this war for the throne of Chennai. Take a look.
Tamil Nadu's big political showdown set to hit the big screen ahead of the assembly elections. This is not your usual Pongal film clash. It's a typical defender versus challenger battle playing out in theatres ahead of the real poll battle. Challenger Vijay, with his last cinematic outing before donning the political hat full time. DMK aiming to take the wind out of Vijay's box office sales with its own film with overt political tones.
I need your orders.
Jana Nayagan will hit theatres on January 9th, followed by Parasakthi on January 10th. Parasakthi, produced by a member of the DMK's first family, has its release date advanced from January 14. The close timing has sparked excitement, debate and tension across the industry and among fans. Vijay's character in Jana Nayagan is portrayed as a leader and protector. When a child asks if he is a superhero, he replies that he's an ordinary man whose actions are seen as special. The trailer ends with a clear promise: I am coming.
I am coming.
A not-so-subtle political messaging, pitching Vijay as the man of the people, the long-awaited savior, as he readies to take on the mighty DMK in the polls.
Sponge! Come on, come on, come on!
Parasakthi is DMK's big political missile. Right from the title itself, DMK picking on the title of the old classic by its patriarch Karunanidhi, who wrote Parasakthi in 1952. DMK is out with its own 2026 offering with the same title 7 decades later. Fronting actor Sivakarthikeyan, Tamil cinema and Thalapathy Vijay's heir, and even the message in the plot.
अरे हिंदी में बोल मद्रासी
मद्रासी दिल्ली आता मद्रासी हिंदी बोला हिंदी कारण मद्रा आता हिंदी कारण तमिल बोला.
The film is based on anti-Hindi imposition struggles in the 1960s, where Sivakarthikeyan, a local revolutionary with the alias Che, takes on the central government. This box office clash is surely a teaser to the real Tamil Nadu political blockbuster in a few months.
திரும்பி போற ஐடியாவே இல்ல. I am coming.
And believe me, as someone who comes from Chennai, I can tell you that a bigger, more high-profile cinematic clash right before a big election, and that too in a state where politics, political messaging and cinema, the boundaries between them are often very, very blurred in Tamil Nadu. This is as big as it can possibly get. Joining me to talk about this tonight, Ranjana Natchiyaar is an actor and a member of Vijay's TVK. Latha Srinivasan, author and entertainment journalist. Hareesh Mohamed Ibrahim is a political analyst and supports the DMK. Good evening and welcome to all of you. Thank you for your time. Ranjana, I'd like to start it off with you because Jana Nayagan is still awaiting a censor certificate. Your party is, the makers of the film have gone to the Madras High Court seeking clarity on this. You are, you are sensing some kind of political hurdles in the release of this film as well, it seems.
Yeah. Exactly. This is not actually a screen test. This is a stress test for Tamil Nadu politics. Let us be very clear. DMK didn't become powerful because of governance alone. I got a call.
Go ahead, Ranjana. We can hear you. You must be getting lots of calls.
Yeah, it became powerful because of cinema influence, mass connect, and storytelling too. When Vijay enters politics, suddenly cinema becomes a problem. That argument itself is not logic, it's a fear. A screen test is done by the producers and the election test is done by the people. And Vijay is not asking for a role here, he is asking for a responsibility. And Tamil Nadu people are mature enough to decide that they don't need DMK or media to certify leadership.
No, so what are you alleging? You're alleging that the DMK and the Stalin government are trying to stonewall this film? They're trying to slow down the release of this film and damage it before its release?
Yeah, definitely. DMK itself was born out of symbols, cinema posters,
so that's a very
slogans,
big,
and mass
that's
culture.
a very big allegation that you're making, but I'm not surprised. And I want to bring my friend and colleague Latha in on this before I go to Hareesh. And Latha, believe me, knows more about Tamil cinema than most people I know. Latha, you know, this is as big as it gets. You know, Vijay on the one side, a sort of a DMK family production on the other, both brimming with political messaging before, what is touted to be the biggest election in Tamil Nadu's history. Are you surprised that this has become such a kind of ill-tempered clash between the two cinema entities?
Well, I'm not really surprised, Shiv. I mean, Vijay coming into politics and the kind of speeches he's been giving, which have been very, taking on the DMK, taking on, the BJP, the fiery speeches he's been given, it's obviously set the tone for the upcoming elections. And considering that Jana Nayagan has a lot of political overtones, right? And Parasakthi as well, which is a very Dravidian ideological kind of film, it was bound to clash at the box office, and now it's facing its hurdles at the censor board, and this was kind of expected, but nobody thought it would go to a nail-biting finish.
That's right. Because one film comes out on the 9th, the other one comes out on the 10th. It's incredible. They come out, one day apart. Jana Nayagan still has not got its, censor certificate. So there's a lot of suspense for fans. And let's be very clear that this is a superstar kind of fight to the finish for this Tamil Nadu election. But there's a cinema angle to it. Hareesh, the TVK and Vijay's team is accusing the DMK of blocking Jana Nayagan, of doing everything they possibly can to give trouble to Vijay before this film's release. Is that true? How would you respond to that?
Shiv, even a small kid who is a kindergarten kid would know that CBFC run by the Information Broadcasting Ministry under the central government, which stated that the Central Board for Film Certification. Having said that, if the DMK has any kind of curtail to be given or any kind of damages should be done to this film, they would have done it by not screening or doing the reservation for all the cinema halls, which is majorly acquired by Red Giant Movies, which is under Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin. Before he was the CEO and now he wasn't. Having said that, if there is one kind of freedom of speech which the DMK should give in, if it goes earlier to the days, I can remember you, Madam Jayalalitha, only for one caption, the time to lead in a Talema movie. She made sure all the screens have been entirely blocked, and Mr. Vijay and his father went to Kodanadu and stand in the gate for almost 3 days. But that is not happening here in Tamil Nadu as of now when the DMK is ruling. The entire screens have been given to the film equally, both the Parasakthi as well as the Jana Nayagan. The screens have been equally distributed among 1,100 screens. Almost 600 screens have been given to the Parasakthi and 500 plus odd screens have been given to the Jana Nayagan.
I want Ranjana to respond to that. Harish, just hold on to that thought. I want Ranjana to respond to that precise point. Ranjana, Harish is right. The censor board comes under the central government. Why are you pointing a finger at the DMK and saying they are trying to stress you out? They are saying we are allowing the film to release. We have nothing to do with anything.
DMK has different strategy, and the BJP at the center and the ruling establishment in Tamil Nadu may be opponents in public speeches, but when it comes to power structure, people see the coordinations, not the conflicts. And this is why people feel that Jana Nayagan is being styled not because of the content, because of the political timing. We must say this clearly, and Mr. Harish, you should definitely have to understand democracy does not survive on silence. Institutions do not gain respect by refusing the explanations.
Madam,
and art cannot be strangled by administrative delay. Leaders like Vijay represent a new political challenge, one that speaks directly to people, especially the youth. And whenever such challenge emerges, history shows us one pattern: power reacts before it explains.
Harish, just hold on to that. Harish, you want to... Okay, quick response from Harish. Harish, Harish, the allegation is that the DMK and the BJP are in cahoots to block Jana Nayagan.
That's laughable. That's laughable. If someone has to shed the silence, that is your party leader should shed silence, and he has to point the finger at the BJP. And as he is the ideological, he was the one who has been proclaimed to be Mr. Amit Shah and Modi is their ideological battle. If they are going ahead with the ideological battle, then he should open his mouth and ask Mr. Modi and Amit Shah why you are stalling our film. Whether you are trying to put inside, they want us to bring the BJP alliance. If the TVK want to be on the TVK alliance, BJP alliance, they can't go ahead and stall your movie. You should open your mouth. You should point the finger at your Amit Shah and Modi, who was your ideological backlog, right? So instead of that, don't spin the balls and don't brush under the carpet and don't point the gun towards the DMK, which has nothing, not even a 0.01% of consideration.
Okay,
of TVK.
Ranjana, quick response on that, saying why aren't you naming the BJP?
See, if the BJP and the ruling ecosystem believes that they are acting it fairly, then let them act transparently. Let them set the clear timelines. Let them treat every film equally. Until then, people will continue to believe that this is not coincidental, this is control.
Latha,
and democracy has never survived control, it survives courage, I strongly believe.
Okay. Latha, is it unusual for a film like Jana Nayagan or any film not to get its censor certificate so close to its stated release date? Is there something unusual in your view?
Well, I think, usually the censor certificate for any Tamil film, most of the time we see comes just before the release, a few days before the release of the film. But this time, it is highly unusual, and I think there is politics at play because the film is releasing on Jan 9th. It's gone to court. The producers have gone to court. Since December 19th, the certificate has not been issued. And the judge is also, postponing the date and is asking why can't it release on Jan 10th, which is quite surprising because this has never happened before.
Yes.
And I think there is politics at play and a lot of political undertones.
The great thing about Latha Srinivasan is she is friends with all of the people we are talking about here. She knows Vijay well, she knows Udhayanidhi Stalin well, she knows Siva Karthikeyan well, she knows people from all across the political line. So who is playing this politics? Sorry to put you in a spot, Latha, but who is playing the politics here? The DMK and the TVK will keep fighting until the film's release. But who is playing the politics?
See, well, I definitely don't think it's the DMK because I think, what Harish also just pointed out, theatres have been equally distributed and shows have been equally distributed by Red Giant for both the films. Of course, what did happen was a film that was supposed to release on Jan 14th got advanced to Jan 10th, and that was clearly due to Vijay's fury take, on the DMK.
Yeah.
But having said that, Red Giant has been very fair in the allocation of theatres. Now, as far as the CBFC is concerned, that is not state controlled. It has nothing to do with the DMK. It is, the government of India. And of course, we know, it's BJP at the center, and what Vijay has stated against the BJP could be at play here. One is not too sure, but that is what TVK is alleging anyway.
Okay. Well, putting aside whether any stonewalling or blockading is happening, Harish, given the power of cinema and the blurred lines between cinema and political messaging, especially in Tamil Nadu, is the DMK kind of watchful, kind of anxious about Jana Nayagan in some way, given that it ultimately is a platform for a big superstar before his big political plunge? It's being called his swan song as well.
No, as I said earlier, freedom of expression and freedom of speech is our fundamental rights, and DMK upholds this right from its Justice Party's invocation. And the Dravidian ideology never stands to curtail any kind of oppression in any form for that matter. Having said that, if someone has to be curtailed of freedom of expression, then it was earlier Madam Jayalalitha have done it in the Vishwarubhum issue, and even to Talaiba when Mr. Vijay have put a simple caption during that rule, time to lead. Only for this caption, Madam Jayalalitha made Vijay and his father to stand in Kodanadu Bungalow for almost 3 to 4 days. But having said that, the last 4.5 years, almost Vijay's and even the TVK have formed before 2 years back. Even almost 2 to 3 films have been released of Mr. Vijay. Nothing have went to the curtail or any kind of oppression given to him by the DMK party, and DMK never stand for any kind of oppression for that matter's sake.
No, but that goes to the point of once again of the DMK not meddling with this film. But Ranjana, looking at the apparent context and content of both these films, observers like Latha will say that, or critics will say that, the Jana Nayagan film is a kind of current story projecting Vijay as a people's hero, trying to appeal to young voters in Tamil Nadu, whereas Parasakthi kind of harks back to the 1950s, a reminder of what the past legacy of the DMK actually is. How does the TVK see it? This is the Team Stalin basically reminding Tamil Nadu of the power of the Dravidian ideology, which is something that Vijay has been trying to fight.
Let us be honest. A society that trusts itself does not need any censorship. A society that fears ideas will always need control. The choice before it is not, it is about cinema, it is not yet released. Before the movie is released, we are debating why this fear, why this argument, why this debate. It is about who we want to be. The choice is before us, not a cinema. It is about who we want to be that.
No, but I would say, Latha, that the anxiety and the kind of suspense over these films is very, very warranted. Some of the biggest stalwarts of Tamil Nadu politics are all from cinema, including Mr. Karunanidhi himself. Udhayanidhi Stalin has dabbled in cinema, whether it is Jayalalitha, whether it is MGR, there are so many other examples also. So this kind of mutual anxiety over whether the enemy camp's film will provide them more momentum going into the election is a very legitimate concern, isn't it?
You're absolutely spot on, Shiv, because you saw what happened at the Malaysia Jana Nayagan audio launch. You saw the crowds that were mobilized there. Nearly 80,000 people in that auditorium in a foreign country, where people even from Chennai flew to watch that audio launch, right? So Vijay has a mass following, no matter where he is. And Jana Nayagan is the soft launch of the political persona. That is very, very clear. The kind of dialogues which came out in the trailer that we saw packed a punch. He spoke about corruption. He spoke about women's empowerment. There were so many issues he touched upon, and that is what he's been speaking during his public events as well. So there is a definite, ambition in him to turn the fan base into a political voting base.
Yeah.
And that is what Jana Nayagan is all about. He's targeting the youth, and that's clearly worrisome for, his political competitors, obviously. The kind of crowds he's going to bring, and this being his last film, it is surely a big, big blockbuster.
Yeah.
And, that is worrying for many, I'm sure.
Hareesh, crowds, converting those big crowds into votes has always been a kind of difficult, thing in Indian politics. It's a bit of a mixed bag. People have drawn large crowds and never been able to convert them into votes. We've seen that in the past as well. But is the DMK sort of watching very closely, to try and hope against hope that Vijay doesn't strike a chord with young voters?
course, Shiv, I don't want to be diplomatic on this. Of course, any new entrant who is having a mass gathering like Mr. Vijay has to be reprimanded, has to be taken into account for. There is no second thought about it. Having said that, whether Mr. Vijay is going to take a political stand directly to the CM chair, it has to be questioned, and the sensibility of Tamil Nadu people will always prevail for the better sense to come, because Madam Jayalalitha, she was there almost 10 years before she became the chief minister. Mr. MGR, who was there from 1950 with the DMK, and when he formed his government by 1977, it took almost 25 to 27 years before he became the chief minister.
Yeah.
But whether Mr. Vijay is doing that, no, he is taking the entire usage of his stardom, his cult following directly and misusing them to attain a chair without even getting to the grassroots politics. So that has to be questioned, and the sensibility, as I said earlier, the better sense will prevail with the people of Tamil Nadu. They have always stood by the senses on differentiating the people from politics and religion. Having said that, they will also...
And also, Latha, given that this is almost like a sort of feature film length promotional activity for Vijay before his first big election, it's make or break. All those crowds will have to go and watch the film. I'm sure the TVK and Team Vijay are ensuring that no matter what happens, this film has to be a hit.
Absolutely. I mean, TVK, the kind of groundwork he has done as far as his fan clubs are concerned. We saw that over the last few years, how he's been interacting more and more with his fans and trying to get them to register for the party. And that's how he's been slowly mobilizing them. And I'm very sure TVK is going to do its bit, in bringing in his fan base also to theaters and making sure the movie is watched, because he talks about corruption, he talks about leadership. Those are all, the themes which resonate with the youth of today, right? Yeah. So I think that's what he's going to do, and TVK is going to ensure that, the fans watch the movie not once or twice, but numerous times. It's going to become Paisa Vasool, and of course, eventually he hopes it will lead to the electoral votes and a win. But as Hareesh says, it won't take him directly to the CM's chair, but he's going to lay a very good foundation for sure.
I can just imagine how cinema fans are relishing every aspect of what's coming up at the end of this week. So I'll give the last word to Ranjana finally. 2 movies, 1 day apart. One with, with Vijay, an established superstar, Siva Karthikeyan in the other movie, a star in his own right, but also considered the next big thing of cinema. Which film is going to do better? It's a bit of an unfair question, Ranjana, but I'm still going to ask you. Which is going to be the bigger blockbuster?
Being an actor, even I would wish both Parasakthi and Jana Nayagan to hit blockbuster.
That's a great answer, and I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ranjana, Hareesh.
Thank you.
And Latha for being with me on this. I will be watching, hopefully, both films first day, first show, and NDTV has excellent coverage in the run-up to this big twin film release in Tamil Nadu on the foothills of what is no doubt going to be one of the most incredible elections the state has ever seen. And NDTV will be right there on the ground to bring you every single aspect of it. Thanks to all of my guests. It's a wrap here on India Matters. See you on the other side.